One of the great lessons of the past 5 centuries in Europe and America is this: acute crises contribute to boosting the power of the state. It's always been the case, and there is no reason why it should be any different with the COVID-19 pandemic. The World Health Organization is proving the conspiracy theorists right again by issuing guidance on digital COVID passports that was reserved for kooks and lunatics only a few months ago. The World Health Organization has promulgated interim guidelines that give groups guidance on how to put together a consistent digital background on somebody's health information so that they can be provided with continuity of care, which means that if you were given one Pfizer shot, you'll be given a second Pfizer shot down the road, but also so that people can be excluded from certain public services should they have chosen to not be vaccinated against COVID-19. You might be wondering who funded this. I'll give you one guess. You only get one guess. Bill Gates. Oh my gosh, you got it right. I'm so proud of you. And of course also the Rockefeller Foundation as well as other groups. And while this might not seem that disturbing, and it actually seems somewhat reasonable, we need to put the line down in the sand and say that this is not the role of global governments. And here's why. And this comes out of the World Economic Forum's book about COVID-19, The Great Reset. They reference the globalization trilemma. The trilemma suggests that the 3 notions of economic globalization, political democracy, and the nation-state are mutually irreconcilable, based on the logic that only 2 can effectively coexist at any time. If both the nation-state and globalization flourish, then democracy becomes untenable. You've heard it out of the globalist horse's mouth. Globalization is incompatible with national structure and democracy. You can have 2, but you cannot have all 3. And with this global encroachment of something that could reasonably be implemented within the nation, you see the global transnational groups trying to take away power from nations. We need to tell our national politicians that we do not want this type of power being ceded to the global governments, because the global governments are bought and paid for by the richest, such as the Bill Gates, such as the Rockefellers. And they are not accountable to regular people like us. And we cannot trust them to do things that are not in the best interests of the Gateses and the Rockefellers of the world. We need to retain these things at the national level. And I know that our politicians at the national level are bought and paid for, but it is better than having global leaders who are completely unelected and completely untouchable by regular people like you and me, making the important decisions of who gets to take flights, of who gets to use public services.